Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Align for Success podcast. We are here on a Tune In Tuesday. Are you getting used to us on Tuesday? I know we used to be with you for a Monday motivation manifestation. However, I listened to you and you said Mondays were challenging, Mondays were difficult, and transformational Tuesdays are even better for you. So we are here each and every week streaming live 6:15 Pacific to help you align for success. And what does it mean to align for success? Well, let me tell you. But before I do, I would like to invite you to share this live stream, to share this with your people, to share it to the world, because what would it be like if all of your friends were aligned and on purpose with what they are here to do? So, aligning for success for me is alignment is when your thoughts, your emotion, your behaviors, and your results are synchronistic. You're not saying something and doing another, it is all lining up. And instead of being in hustle, push, and pull, you become in flow where you're in the right place at the right time with the right people so that you can be of service doing what you love, to have that kind of joy, not a job. Isn't that great? Awesome. So today we are going to have a very special guest to talk about aligning for success. But I want to let you know something first before we even get started with that. We are now live on Apple and Spotify. That's right. If you look, those of you that are watching on YouTube and Facebook, and you look on the streaming below, if you search Align for Success TV, go ahead, do it right now. It's okay. I'll wait for you. You can go to Apple Podcasts, or if you prefer, Spotify, and you can follow. We're re releasing the episodes that we started back earlier this year, and you could catch up on all the ones you missed. How to use yoga to align, how to find your soulmate, how to stay consistent, how to have permanent weight loss. All these amazing topics, all at your fingertips. And for those of you that prefer YouTube, you know that we're also on YouTube, which is just Deborah Deras Live. So I encourage you to go there. And for those of you that are wanting to have alignment as a way of life, to get your ego that's not your amigo out of the way so that you can be successful with ease and grace, one of the things I've created for you is a free alignment video. You can download it easily and effortlessly on my website, which is deborahderas.com. See below, deborahderas.com. And when you do, you will instantly be added to my newsletter list. And there's lots of free webinars that I have on mindset, marketing, manifestation all month long. You'll get a newsletter, it will invite you. You'll also get reminders about the podcast and summaries of the podcast because I have someone taking notes for me so that you'll be able to get all of the gems. Because today, let me tell you, you are going to have such an amazing experience because we have someone that is not only my special guest, she is my sister from another mister, my Hawaiian sister. And she's all the way from Hawaii here with us tonight. And I'm going to introduce her. And so, you guys, get ready. Get ready to take notes. Get ready to be inspired. Get your friends, get your family into the living room or wherever you're watching this and tell them, you got to watch this. The news is going to say the same negative things about blah, 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 COVID, blah, 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 politics. But what you're going to get here tonight, inspiration to be that entrepreneur boss babe that you want to be. Because today we have a very special guest, and it is my sister from another mister, Crystal Pancipanci. And she is known in the industry as Panci, a self made entrepreneur who continues to create progressive signature looks for Hawaii's A list influencers, brands, and fashion house of the Pacific. She is an image architect and is the most sought after style and beauty expert and consultant in Hawaii. Known for curating fashion profiles and transformationally elevating leaders, artists, and brands in the islands, which is fondly referred to as being ponzified. And let me tell you, you're going to be ponzified in a minute because she is going to share how she balances being a celebrity stylist, entrepreneur, and a single mom of 18, who's amazing, by the way, and will inspire you to fulfill your dreams. Please help me welcome my sister, Miss Pancipanci, Crystal.
Aloha!
Aloha, beautiful. How are you?
Beautiful. I'm so great. You look so amazing. And thank you so much for having me here. You are my Oprah. That introduction, I was like, yes. Click, subscribe, share, go, sign up, sign and autograph my book that you're going to finish and go on tour, and I'm going to get a copy of.
Yeah, I was sharing with Crystal before we started that the Align for Success podcast is a book, and I was writing the book. I actually scheduled in my time to in my schedule today, finishing the book, so it's coming out. We hope 11/11. That's the goal.
Yes,
Oneness. Yes, yes,
it's out
oneness, oneness,
there.
oneness. So I'm so grateful for you for being here. Thank you so much. I know, mahalo. I know all that's on your schedule with everything that you do. And I'm a dedicated follower on your Instagram stories and seeing where you are. And I know during the last year of the pandemic, both of us, me as a speaker, you as a celebrity stylist, our friend Martha as well. It's been a challenging year and a half, but we've been supporting each other.
Yes.
How did you deal with the quarantine being a business owner and a single mom?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think for all of us it was hard, and we all have our different hearts. For me particularly, being a creative and being they kind of categorized. I didn't realize we were in this category, but self-employed gig freelance gig worker doesn't really is not COVID proof. So and nor is it funded by any kind of government, anything. So definitely it was such a challenge, not only as in my business, it was how to navigate with my child who's, in her last few years of high school, and then my team and working and how to be able to provide for that. And we just really had to stay present. And I remember working so much, like working during this whole COVID shutdown. I was in Los Angeles actually in February at the Grammys on the 25th at the Grammys.
She's so
That
fancy, you
day,
guys.
and my artist and my client from Hawaii, she was doing the presenting awards. And there was
Oh,
something, she's for the first Grammy in the pre-show, and we were in the back with Luis Fonsi, Despacito. He was the very first.
oh,
And
I
I was
remember that.
and we were back there, and I remember being there, and I was like trying to be present. I was so exhausted. I mean,
Right.
not that I was so excited, but also I remember in my mind, and I was working so much, and then everyone's like, "Oh, COVID this, COVID that," and all I wanted was space. And I remember creating a dream board,
Oh
and I put
gosh.
space, and
Be
everyone's
careful
like,
what you ask for.
as soon as got back, I guess end of February, early March 16th, and then I was like, so we got space. How did we navigate through it? It was creating a routine. It was probably the hardest thing. And we came face to face with so many things that one, we were putting off, whether it was emotionally, spiritually,
Mhm.
financially, because we were so stuck in our business. So I really had to come face to face with myself. Um, but how did I get through it was really through the network of friends. Thank God for FaceTime. Thank God for technology in a way that we still can connect. And that's the thing that was really important was connection. And I think no matter who you were or what you did and how many kids, if you did or didn't have connection to other souls is so important. And yeah, so I had to use that time, and I had to recheck myself and say, okay, what's the goals today? What is the new normal? And then now, rather than like, oh, the world's ending, like, how do we use this time to continue to stay creative, continue to find other, and as entrepreneurs, we hustle hard, and when push comes to shove, we know how to find a resolution. Like, we know how to, like, get better. And so you have two choices: rather than let it consume you, or let it thrive you and give you that space to get really creative.
Yes. And
So
I love how you instantly, instead of getting overwhelmed
yeah,
and, you went to, okay, well, this is a perfect time for personal growth. This is the
yeah,
perfect time for all the things that I didn't have the space for. It's so funny that you did, because you were at my last vision board that I did in
yeah.
virtually, that you did space, because on my vision board was the beach and
Yes,
and yoga on the beach, and pretty much that's all that was on the board. Yoga on the beach, and I'm
yes,
like, oh, that's all I did during quarantine was I moved to the beach and then I did
yes,
yoga on the beach.
yes, yes.
So, but it actually, for people that were very, very busy, part of it was a nice little downshift, right? A
And that was
nice little
hard,
slowdown.
because I didn't realize how at 1,000% we were operating all the time, and our
Right.
business, and you're always doing the next thing. When you're working and finishing something, you're already producing on another thing and taking care. And to downshift was difficult, because it was a new skill set that we all had to really learn and say, okay, this is going to be okay. Versus, and I gotta say, I had a lot of hard days. I would FaceTime one of our best friends, Martha, who was like the soul circle. And that's what it was. You found your soul circle. So someone who helped you, and if you had that, you to wake up and say, okay, I'm going to wash my face this morning. What is,
Exactly.
and what is the goal? And if I just washed my face and made my bed, it was a successful day. you know?
Yes.
um, and then I couldn't do it. And then also being positive for someone I'm responsible for, and lead her by example. So, that she had to go to school every day. So I had to get up because she had to, or, I had to lead by example. And I also became very financially aware very quickly
Oh,
of,
me too. I
oh,
went through my bank account. I was like, you do not need this. You do not need this. You do not. I cut $1,000 worth of expenses when I became very
yes,
financial, that I was wasting on things I wasn't using.
subscriptions. And I
Mhm.
realized how much, I was like, we ate through all the profits through food.
Oh, like
you know,
literally. Oh,
literally,
wow.
like a lot of our business expenses was like dining out, or all, and we were living, or so those things, you came again face to face. And that's how I kept business going, was really cutting out, and that was, editing, and that was a healthy part, and being so aware of what was coming in and coming out, and being okay that before you're like, oh, $7 Starbucks, we all quickly knew that we could make the best coffee at home.
Exactly. And the best food.
And the best food. We turn into little cooking shows, and that was also one thing how I stayed positive. Like, my outlet is always to cook. It's another art form for me. It's like another styling where it's I can make anything, and I love hosting, and so I went into cooking for the family.
I love it. And that's another thing that I admire so much about you and all that you do, is that you do it not only, running your business, but you also have a teenage daughter who's always, I think, always by your side. I see her, oh, she's driving the truck. She's getting ready for, whatever day you're having. How do you balance being a successful entrepreneur and
Thank
being a mom of a teenager?
Thank you. I guess success is, it changes different places of your life, and balance is so subjective. I mean, it's a
Right.
constant dance every day. And I didn't know any different. I mean, I had Haley at 20, and so I was just coming out of college. So I don't know anything different where
Ah.
it's anything is balanced. It's just, one day it's a really bad day, and I'm still working. And, you take the good with the bad, and that's what about sometimes, finding that sweet point of imbalance, where you're like, okay, I accept this day. And it really does take a village. And I'm so grateful for Hawaii. I mean, being born here in Hawaii, it's really about, you're raised with such the value of community and support in a way that is ingrained in our genes and our blood and our spirit, with no, regardless if you see someone on the street, like, you help. And I'm so thankful for my family and my network of friends who really help support me, my dreams, my goals, the pickups, coaches, the aunties. Everyone is an auntie or uncle here, regardless. If you don't know their name, they're an auntie or their uncle. And Haley's been very blessed, including you.
Yes. My baby fly girl.
Your baby fly girl. Baby fly girl's now almost 18.
Oh my God.
And I think, balancing being a part, that I just knew, like, I wanted to do and create a business of all the things that I still dreamed and wanted to do, and the skill sets that I was given to give back, but without really having to let that go and still be raising a child. Mm-hmm. So I never sugarcoated everything from Haley. Like, if she knew if I was having a hard day, she knew she was having a hard day. Or if I had to work and she could help, whether she was 6 years old and on set underneath the racks, organizing the little shoes, or I included her. And I think that connection of, understanding why mom, quote unquote, is so busy. Because at the end, kids just want your time. And they're they want you to be happy, and be like, oh no, everything's fine, but they just want your attention. And then, the teenage years is definitely the worst. It's kind of like COVID. It's just a season.
Oh my God, really?
Like, I just want this to go away, and then they come back.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember how I was with my dad. Like, everything was lame. You don't understand. And then all of a sudden, when I was 21, I came back and I was like, I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
It's like, you're back.
Exactly.
They do come back. They do come back. I know that.
I really put a focus on Haley, like, okay, find your thing. But I'm going to tell you what's going to succeed or not. But I'm like, you're going to choose your passions, choose your goals. This is our business. I'm doing this for us so that way I can provide for you for school, this meal, this house, whatever it is. And you don't have to do what I do. So find what you're passionate about, and then I'll help you. And then you're going to help me because we're a team. And so that's always a constant, again, dance. And thank God for my mom.
Oh, I love your mom. But the wonderful thing that you're teaching, Haley, is that entrepreneurial work ethic, that you can create anything, that there's no problem you can't solve. I'm sure you have a lot of challenges throughout your styling day that you're like, okay, we'll just fix it. I've seen you in action. I have briefly, but I can tell that, like, and then she can decide, maybe I want to be an entrepreneur, but she'll definitely have that work ethic that you've instilled just through modeling. She doesn't know any different, like fish in water, right?
Right. And I think that's what I use with Haley all the time. Like, everything is figure outable. Like, if there's a solution to something, and you have to think outside the box. So if something is hard, like, oh, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to hear that. And I keep telling her, like, no, I don't know. We can do research, but everything's figure outable. Everything, there's a solution until there's not. But, you're smart enough, use a little bit of common sense and a lot of just bulldoze through those moments. And that's how you powerhouse through whatever. And that applies to her in school. That applies to me in any kind of work situation. Yeah.
I learned that from Marie Forleo. Do you read that book, Everything is Figure Outable?
No.
There is a book by my business coach, and it is literally, yes, girl, it is called Everything is Figure Outable. And it's literally my mantra, because so many things as a business owner, like, I'm like, I don't know how to create a sales page. I don't know how to do a funnel. I don't know how to write a book or whatever it is. I don't know, but I can figure it out.
We can figure it out. And you learn through the process of the ebbs and the flow, and you get better.
Right. I think, but see, you take that as just natural. Other people have to develop that, right? You probably got that from your mom, where they feel like, oh, maybe somebody's listening and they want to start their own business. They're like, oh, but I didn't go to business school, or I didn't learn this. Well, the best people that are business owners dropped out of college, right? They didn't go to business school either. They learned through trial and error, but everything is figure outable, right?
And those are the best, most inspiring stories. You listen to so many podcasts, including yours and the guests, and everyone has this moment. And it's not like, oh, just because I went to one thing and it was given and I checked box because I went to business school and got this thing and I started this business and now it's a multi-million. It's not. Everyone has this one story that was a tipping point that, people overcame some kind of adversity.
Exactly. Miss Brenda Lee says, aloha, Deborah, Crystal, and Haley.
Aloha.
And my friend Kim says, hi, Kim. How are you? By the way, all of you that are on here, Robin, everybody, you can comment. So I'm asking questions to Crystal, but you can also ask questions. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, just write it in the comments and then I'll be able to ask Crystal any question that you would like, because I know you have so many questions already. So I know you are a celebrity makeup artist to the stars, girl. Didn't you do the makeup for Oprah?
I work. So Harpo is a client. It was always on my vision board, and Oprah has her team. I've got to meet Oprah. My team members have. I've worked on she lives on Maui. She has her. Oprah has a big chunk of Maui. She has.
Tell her I said hi.
Garden. So the productions that have been there, and it was included with some Weight Watchers where she gifted. I have worked with the team or the production or gone to her space, but just Oprah in general. Even if it's just it was a event she was hosting. I'm like, hi, yes, I worked with Oprah.
Yes, I love, but also so many stars. Kimora Lee, Carrie Ann Inaba, Dancing with the Stars. I love her.
She's from Hawaii. She's my girl. She's from Hawaii, yes.
Oh, she's so beautiful. Daniel Day Kim, Grace Park. Oh my goodness. What inspires you to be able to come up with beautiful makeup looks, and not just the makeup, the clothes? I see you put together.
No, I'm kind of I like to call myself a multi hyphenate, or what do they call that, where you have so many. So I'm a stylist and image architect for a lot of brands, but I also do hair and makeup, and it's a merging of all the things. So we've got to work. I just living in Hawaii, there was never a career choice that was available to me without having to move to New York or LA or so when I did start, I'm like, I just want to work with all the things, the magazines and behind the scenes and the photo shoots, but behind the scenes, be the stylist that brings the dress and does the hair and the makeup. And that's the artist passion side of me, that beauty industry, you buy that Vogue magazine and you tear every page. That was my inspiration. And I would figure out the makeup looks or figure out what brands. And I grew up in the country, in the small little town in Waihua. So it was never available. And I always thought I was going to fly away, and I do in my career, but I never, because I had Haley just after college, I had to create my own way and this industry that didn't exist for me. And when I would say, oh, I'm a makeup artist, they're like, oh, what counter do you work at? I'm like, none. Or if I'm a stylist, they're like, what? Nail style? I'm like, none. I went to business school. Right. And
I wanted to go to business school.
I did. Well, I went to UH here, and it was a focus in architecture. And so but I always did hair and makeup at 15. That was my side hustle, girl. That was how I did makeup for my friends for $20 for gas money to go to and from. I think I was like an Uber driver without even knowing I was an Uber driver. And so I had to merge, and I was doing freelance makeup during college, thinking it was just oh yeah, I can hook you up. And it was never a career path, because my family was like, that's not a job. I'm like, yeah, it's not a job. It's just something I do to help people.
It's a joy.
So fun. It was just so fun. But I'm going to visit, So when I went to architecture school, it was a kind of design. I love that. I love the history of facades, but I was like, I felt like this. I didn't want to make models of buildings. And I was like, this is so daunting for me. And I remember taking a fashion illustration class as a liberal, and it felt cathartic. And I was like, this is what I want to do. Is this benevolent, this feeling of I'm going to do something in fashion. I remember going home and telling my parents, I'm going to be a fashion designer. And they're like, you're going to learn how to sew? And I'm like, no. They're like, does this UH have a program? I'm like, They don't. They have this thing called apparel product merchandising, but you can go through the business school, you can get a double major, but I will be successful. I will align myself for success.
Exactly. You're like, bottom line, I'll be successful. Don't worry about what it's called.
I just envision my name as Panci. It'll be a
Wow. Such a
label of
visionary. Such a
finance.
visionary.
Mhm. And I'm going to work with the celebrities and everyone and who or what. And yeah, so I'm inspired by so many things, not just people and all of that, because in Hawaii, we never had celebrities and stuff like that. Everything was such Hollywood, but now we have such a thriving industry. But I was always inspired by people. And I think through the art of makeup, I felt happy because it was a healing for myself, that I was helping someone brighten their light, and it was easy. I could learn, and I never went to cosmetology school, but then I met other creatives, and then I was like, there's a business to this. So I became that person who created the business for other artists as well. So a collective. And I think every project, whether it was a magazine shoot or a branding hotel campaign, or a musician that's going to be performing at the Grammys, or I don't know, working a Nike shoot, everyone has a story to tell. And that branding or marketing is what I love, that storytelling through the art of whether it's clothes and hair and makeup, but that transformative spirit that any person, regardless of what we do, is the best part.
Wow. It's so rare that someone would have both the business branding marketing and also the
That brain.
beauty style. It's left, right brain.
I've learned that I've been both. I've been blessed to learn
Yes.
with both. Yeah.
So they get the whole cup. That's why they're Pancified, because they get the whole package with you, right? Martha and Lucia say hi. They're probably drinking
Hi,
wine, watching right
hola,
now.
aloha.
Hello, Pasadena in the house. Yeah,
Hey.
girls, you're with us. You're with us. You can ask questions, by the way.
Yes.
So I love. So what I heard you saying. Did you hear what you said? You said that you wanted to bring the beauty to light. Remember, I told you that I
Yes.
see you as a light.
Thank
That
you.
you are like a light bearer. That
Yeah.
whether it could be like a hotel or a
Yeah.
campaign or a person, you bring the light, and the makeup and the hair or the props. That's just the tool. What
It's
you
just a
do is
tool.
you beautify, you illuminate, you
Yes.
electrify.
Yes.
Yes, you Pancify. Now I get it. Now I get the Pancification. All right.
It's a
I
story. It's you bring it to light. And I'll dump. I'm like, oh, what do you need today? Because when the day I stopped saying, okay, what do you do? I'm like, what do you need? I mean, I work in production or media or in entertainment or fashion. I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that too. But then, so that way I didn't like being categorized or just a makeup artist or a stylist, and the union and the production world really puts us in these like divider folders. But I'm like, JLo is like singer, dancer, author,
right.
skincare. We can do it all. So
Right. I love it. Britt, who's also a stylist, she's actually
hi.
leaving to Boston to do styling. She
Yes.
says aloha. She just came back from her first time
Hello.
in Hawaii, and she's like, I
Oh,
love this interview. Kim has a question for you, which is
hey.
really
Sure.
important. So I know how stressful it is to be on the
Yeah.
set,
Yeah.
especially in films and movies that you do TV shows. The
Mhm.
Hawaii show that my friend Joan Samuels is always there on. I know
Yes,
you're there. I think she's there now.
Hawaii Five-0, Magnum PI. We're all
Hawaii
in.
50. So how do you de-stress from all
Yes,
of like the TV production hustle
right,
bustle?
right. I love this question because I get asked all the time. I have a morning show that I host on Fox here called Living 808. Um,
Ooh!
every morning, and mine is called Dear Ponzi. I'm probably going to use this in an excerpt.
Oh,
It's
yes.
after it's 9 o'clock daily, but people write in. But de-stress, like I had to learn balance in that. And what COVID taught me was really aligning those self-care practices. And it's different for everyone. So, I'm such a giver. I know when I've now become, it's more than the makeup or hair or production or being able to produce all the things. It's really, I'm a giver, a healer in that way, or, the coordinator. So I also, the equal amount of energy I give out, I really need that time to be introverted.
Yes.
And COVID gave me that space where I'm like, I'm okay to be home. And I love being able to share with other women. Like what de-stresses me is really taking the time. I pray every day. I light candles. I have a candle on every day. And, when I wake up, I, write 3 things I'm grateful for, even on the hardest days. And even when I'm dealing with a grumpy child in the morning, I'm like, what's 3 things we're grateful for? As we're like angry at each other, we're like, I'm grateful for you. And I'm like, we're late. She's like, I'm grateful for, but I love a great skincare routine. Anything. I've always loved to empower women in these like beauty tips and whatnot. And how I de-stress is like I take the time every morning, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to stretch or pray, or even any time of the day, could be anything. And writing 3 things you're grateful for, because it really realigns your purpose and your mission every day. It reminds you of your why. And for me, my skincare routine, the self-care skincare / FaceTime with Martha, or my face, like that is us. Like, girl, wake up, go wash your face, put on your face, and go get it. Get back in the game, And when you look good, you feel good. Whether if you took that time to put on that beautiful bright lip pink, girl, or curl that hair, you feel a little bit more empowered. I love to cook. So that's on a stressful day. And maybe some people don't, but I love cooking because, I have a child to feed anyway. So I found art and escape in that. And that's what even during COVID, when we weren't allowed, we lived in Hawaii, but we weren't allowed to even jump in the beach sometimes.
Wow. Us here too, for a little while.
Yeah. But, swimming, surfing, the ocean is so healing. Nature, it's so important to do something outside. And I love, if I couldn't do that, I love to take long drives by myself. Like, I don't just I'll tell my kid, I'm like, I just want to take a drive, listen to a podcast. There's like a me day each week. And I like to take a day off during the middle of the week versus, because the Saturdays and Sundays sometimes is so busy because it's full of time, right? Or production time. And in my calendar, it changes overnight because it's freelance. So you go from 0 to like, we're completely booked. So
I know, girl. Crazy. It's like all or nothing usually,
it's all or nothing. So finding that time, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to work this whole week, I'm going to take 2 days of quiet to be off of social media, to journal and write, to do the things you love. Whether it's even just walking through Target by yourself, do it. Like, you do you. And, you find rebalance in that. It's important for me to like run or even swim, like anything outside to do something good for your body, even if you don't want to, has been really healthy. And, doing, I love beauty and fashion. So how I de-stress is like watching a YouTube or listen to a podcast or something that inspires me, and it makes me create and feel more inspired to do something else.
I love it. I love it. And I think your point about quarantine giving us the gift of introversion, because being extroverts, we never knew how wonderful it was to be in the house and to have that time to actually, cook and, do all the self-care. One of the things that I think Martha, our friend, got me to do is I started doing jade rolling as de-stressor.
Yes, because I taught her that.
She's like, you taught her that? I think
again, in through those tips were and that is the beauty of the beauty industry. And that's what I love what I do, because you're like, oh, what is that? And through a tip of like just rolling your face or one product.
Feels so good. It's like a massage for your face. Like, instead of Botox, I just rolled. I just started like 3 months ago.
It drains, it contours, it takes all the depuffing out, drains it.
Trying to iron the wrinkle on my like, come on.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Everybody, okay, don't forget to let us know about the Fox show so that everybody will be
it's Living 808. I've been on the show. This is my 7th year. So I'm a TV, so I wanted to do all the things. I'm like, I'm going to do the hair, the makeup. I want to be on TV. I want to do makeovers for everybody, but we didn't have that in Hawaii. And through what I've done here, and I now learn, like, as much as I wanted to leave Hawaii every year, I'm like, after this year, I'm moving. I'm going to LA, joining Debbie and Martha. But I've come to LA,
Yeah.
God always put me here. And I feel like wherever you are, whether you're a steward to that community. So you're like, okay, God, and the things that you give me as gifts, how can I be better too, so that way the next generation of creatives or the person who wants to do what I do, because you never know who's watching,
Right.
is a little inspired to be like, I can do this too. Then you've done your service.
I love it. Yeah, and you could always be bi-coastal. You could live here in
Yes,
LA
I
and then
was.
have your little place in Hawaii. Yeah.
I exactly. That's why I live by the airport. And girl, I am ready.
That's why I live by the airport. I've never lived 15, we're so alike. I've never been 15 more minutes farther from the airport. I
Oh
just
yeah,
keep
I have
staying.
a suitcase ready to go. You know.
I think I'm 8 minutes now where I am. Last time I went. So I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs and
Yes.
entrepreneurs, people that are working for
Mhm.
an organization but have that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
What advice do you have for people that are thinking about starting a business or want to go to the next level in their career? What
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
So for anyone dreaming about anything, I mean, there is no failure but not doing it. The only failure can is just yourself. So if you're so passionate and truly believe in anything or something, and I'm still looking, I'm like, I need to build that one product, or whatever. Do your research. Really like have yourself become an expert, because there's so many tools that allow you to have these facets, because it's a mindset. You
Hmm.
you change that mindset, and these doors of opportunity will then open, and you'll learn another thing, or you'll meet someone. So it takes that leap of faith. Also smart. So it's not like, if you're just talking just without having a plan, then that's also a little messy, right? So write it down and just create vision boards. I mean, I've always created with you for myself. I have it on the wall over there. But I also, even in my world, when I'm working in editorial, we're always like, okay, what's the vision? We create mood boards and color schemes and brand stories. And from there, things start to materialize. Create goals, like realistic goals for yourself. Like when people come, I have interns that work for me with UH. So I mentor or adopt a girl. And I always ask them, write your goals down. What's your goals for this year, and the reason why you want to work for me in production or in fashion? Why do you want to be a stylist? And what's your goals in 5 years? And what's like your biggest bucket list of things, whether it's to ride an elephant or jump on a plane, like be as bold. And it allows yourself to really expand bigger. And then in business, I mean, I had to be an expert in everything, especially like being an expert janitor, an expert accountant, you have to learn all the things. And it's always going to be, you have to understand everything is going to be hard,
Yeah.
regardless of you working for someone or being an entrepreneur. Everything's going to be hard. You just have to choose your hard and know, is it worth it? And is it going to be so rewarding for yourself at the end? And
Right.
running a spa business requires a lot of moving parts. You're going like, but you got the hair, the makeup, the little marketing, you have all these facets. So you have to juggle a lot of balls at the same time. And everything you do is part of the brand, whether it's your
Mm.
lifestyle, your Instagram, your product. It is everything that you do is part of building your brand. And surround yourself with creatives, people who have the same spirit. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
the same vision, the same enthusiastic views about life or about that business. Or if there's something that you lack, be aware of that and be like, I suck at keeping with my bookkeeping. I'm not gonna just pay so I'm gonna hire a good accountant and a
Exactly.
bookkeeper. And
Exactly.
it's gonna be worth whatever the cost is, and hire someone so that way you can really focus and be a good whatever you're going to be. Um, and it just, again, it takes a leap of faith, and anybody can do anything. And whether even if you're just trying to apply for that dream job or create that one magic product like your book.
Yeah. Yes. But let's talk about your you're launching a new product?
Well, we did. So Panci Style is my brand. So Pancipanci is my last name. So that's kind of the behind the scenes. And when I started my brand, I say brand or company, I've always been a fashion production company, right? So people call me to either hire me directly or, we create the whole team. But I've always wanted to create a lifestyle brand of products so that way women fashionable, functional accessories. Because as a stylist, we're always talking about trends and where to buy and what's happening at Macy's and what's the sale and what beauty eyelash product needs to make my eyelash grow. And I'm like, there has to be something. And during COVID, I knew that there was going to be, I knew things were changing. Right. But as my due diligence as a stylist, and we all had to wear masks. And remember the day we're like, we're going to wear masks, like all these things. And I work in production. So I needed to find something that kept me safe, but chic. So I'm like, stay chic and stay safe. So we created our first line of Panci accessories, which are these acrylic mask chains.
Ooh la la, how cute. Put one on so
okay. So it all started because a lot of people started making beaded, attachments. And for women on the go, it's like one less thing we have to remember when we're getting out the door: the key, the phone, my wallet, car, my laptop charger, my kid, my eyeglasses. So, mask fashion in Asia is already, because this has been something part of their. So in Hawaii, I didn't want something dainty that was getting tangled in my hair or, looks like a craft fair. And not to say there's anything wrong with it. I needed something bold and chic and strong. So I was talking to my best friend, Martha. I'm like, oh, look at that. So there's these links. Okay. And basically it looks like a necklace.
So cute. Is that like brown suede, girl?
So it's just a chain. So you can pick whatever mask. Hi, you guys. And I saw something, and there's a lot on the market, but there was nothing in Hawaii available to us. And that didn't look like, that was just handmade. So we found I found something similar that I liked, but this is 100% acrylic. So you can go through TSA and travel, but you can travel safe, stay chic. And it looks like,
oh my God, I love it.
Looks like earrings.
I need that turquoise one. Oh,
and there's like
even your mask is chic.
The mask needs to be a part of the look. So I was just thinking, like, how can we make this not compete with our outfit? Because we're just ready. There's all the things. And so, and I just needed something that was really durable. So I remember just finding when I'm doing makeup or something, I'm like, where's my mask? And if the COVID compliance officer on set sees me without a mask, we get fined.
Oh, really?
$5,000, girl.
Really? Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. They're serious. They're hardcore.
We're serious. Yeah. So I got, the first one was the black, because I'm always in black.
Oh, that is nice.
Like, if my client wants to see me, I'm like, oh, hey. And it's really light. It's really light. And then when you want to take a picture or a selfie or take a sip, you just kind of hook it on. And chains is already having a moment. Gold chains, statement chains, acrylic chain. So you just put it around and you can use it just as a necklace.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Super cute.
You can attach it to also eyewear. So that way, even like, so these are, I knew the accessories I want to create it has to be fashionable, functional, and budget friendly for women on the go. So that it will help us look cool. And like, we get that little extra, like, hey, without having to break the bank.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was just like a divine download. Look at her nice boxes. It's like Tiffany's, the blue. Oh, with the pineapple. Oh my God.
Yeah, you have a little box of Hawaii. And so I remember telling Martha for months, it's like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. Did you do it? No. And then it just was like, I'm going to do it. And it took longer. So I stayed up all night. I sourced overseas. I wanted to custom my boxes. I found someone to build a site who understood e-commerce. And that was a new business that I had no idea. I kind of understood it, but all the things behind it.
Oh, wow. So you started this brand new. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And is that Shop Panci?
So on PanciStyle.com, there's a shop.
Okay. Let me put it in. Shop Panci.
So on my web, so really the goal was to relaunch PanciStyle.com, and then there's going to be a shop on the stuff, but because I really wanted to convert my site to this new lifestyle blog that I've always wanted to do, but I just didn't have the time. Put all the work there to create a community, to create all the things, right? Outside of the portfolio. And now you can shop. So you can do first accessories. We ship all around. And the cool thing was that I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to sell this. It's going to sell out. Like, whenever it does sell out, I'm going to sell 20 a day.
Right.
And we launched it because my friends who are in PR in Hawaii, they're like, you girl, because the governor's going to change the mask mandate. Do it now.
Right. Exactly.
And I was like, okay, let's do it now. We jumped, and I didn't have my boxes ready. We just wanted to test the e-commerce, and then there was an overflow of sales, and we're like,
everything is figure outable. Everything is figure outable, right?
And we got way over our head. We're like, wait, how many? So when it got into like the thousands, we're like, wait, I didn't even have a warehouse. We got it shipping and fulfillment.
Oh,
so we had to learn it as we went. The type of shipping boxes to.
But that is another entrepreneurial tip, because people that don't know think you have to have everything ready and have everything perfect and then you go. But entrepreneur life isn't ready, set, go. It's go, set, ready. It's like you have to just figure it out and course correct it. Not that you want to do things wrong or sloppy, but if it's the time is right, you have to get it out there.
Yeah. Right? And we did, like, I had to push it, and I did a social media campaign. It really was to boost the brand. It wasn't just about the chain. The chain was the carrot at the end of the stick. Then the accessories took a life on its own. And we're like, I just want people to go on my new website. I want them to go on my new Instagrams. But wait. So I'm like calling my manufacturer the day it launched. I'm like, we need to put a reorder and start making more.
Oh, that's great. So you have more now, right?
Yeah. So it sold out in a day, like everything. I felt like a Kardashian.
Oh my God,
and then like the next month, we had a restock, and I knew that we could also use this as an eyewear chain for like sunglasses. Yeah. And there's a local company here called Mohala Eyewear, and they were trying to do a collab with me for a really long time to launch. They have these beautiful locally made, like just very chic sunglasses, but they're going to do blue lights. And they wanted to do a live podcast, but I was like, I didn't feel like I was in the right space to collaborate at the time. And then I was like, hey, next month, I'll help you launch your blue light frames because we can give a chain to all of the customers. So I've used my platform to help another brand. And that's the beauty of actually then, cross promoting and really aligning other people. So I do believe, here's a tip, that there's a space for everyone. And even though that someone may be doing it and that doubt of like, there's that already, it's like you can do it better. And focus on your community that's actually attached to you, and you can, have that influence, and you'll surprise yourself, because there's always going to be that voice of doubt. I had it too. We're like, oh, no.
The ego that's not your ego. It's like, oh, who are you to do it? They're already being done. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to do it the way you're going to do it. And like how yours is also a necklace. It's also this. It's also that. I love it. I love that.
That's TV product. You can see it. You can try it. It's a shirt, isn't it?
But that's a wonderful tip about collab, because it's the power of synergy. So then you could both grow faster together. It's a really great entrepreneurial strategy, whether you want to grow your social media or grow your product or grow your service. What other business has a complementary offering where you could partner with them?
Right.
So brilliant.
And I love the mindset of people now being able to, I remember when I started out as an artist or just being as a stylist, and I just wanted to learn. And all these seasons, and I was an assistant to whoever on a Nike shoot, organizing, whatever. And then, no one wanted to teach me anything. And everyone was so kept secret about whatever they were doing, whether it was like a makeup brand or, no one wanted to help you. And I was like, there's a space for everyone, and there's a space to, there's know your competition, but there's a space. If someone wants to do what I do, it's almost kind of, your due diligence to also help that person, so that way you can perpetuate what this industry is, and that's the nice thing of collaborations, right?
Crystal,
instead of being scared.
It goes back to your word space. Remember,
Yes.
your intention was space, and that there's a space for everyone,
Yeah.
including you, the
Mhm.
person, everyone that's listening here or that is
Yeah.
listening in the replay. There is a space for you. Whatever vision you have the capacity to achieve it. Just don't listen to that little voice that's your ego,
Yes.
and go for it like Crystal. Where can people stay in touch with you? How can they stay in touch with you and find out what you're doing? Shop Ponzi, get some Panci Aloha style in their life.
Yes, you can follow me on my Instagram. So yes, I have three. Ponzi or Pansy. It's like fancy with a P. I'm half
Fancy, fancy.
I'm like half Filipino with that accent. It's like my mom. But Panci or Panci Style is our company. And the new shop Panci on Instagram is where you can find their chains and the easy link to shop. But everything is on the website, which is the blog, pancistyle.com.
I love it. PanciStyle.com. And I am just so inspired by you.
I'm
And I
inspired by you.
and I know when people listen to this, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, I can figure it out. I can do it. Is
Yeah.
there any closing words or an inspirational mantra or quote that helps you to get through those challenging days that you would like to leave people with?
I say every day, and have to constantly remind yourself that you are enough. Everything that you do, you're like, I did enough today. And even if
Ah,
it was just that. And because we're really hard on ourselves, I'm hard on myself. But with all the things, I'm getting all emotional. So regardless of where you guys are in your life, and I think especially as women entrepreneurs, mothers, daughters, all of that, we take on so much pressure. So know that you are enough and in your day, and you're doing enough. And if that one day, you just made a meal, that was enough. And you're enough to make anything happen, and in your dreams and your goals, and being able to manifest and align yourself for success, that you've been giving each gifts to really grow and shine light in this world.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so
And it's
much.
that aloha spirit, he's like,
Aloha.
yeah.
Stacy says, thank you so much,
Oh,
Crystal.
thank you.
Brittany says, who's a stylist like you, I'm so inspired. Thank you, beautiful ladies.
Thank you,
Uh,
you guys. Come visit me in Hawaii sometimes. Now that we're
oh, yes. You don't have to ask us twice. In fact, my mom was like, the only place that she wants to go is Hawaii. So I'm
yeah.
definitely going to take her. Definitely going to take her. My friend Tanya from Brazil says, love, love,
Oh,
love.
Tanya.
Yes, obrigada. Thanks for tuning
Ooh.
in. JI says aloha, aloha. Oh my goodness, everybody's here. So I just want to let everyone know that this is just my great pleasure to bring you all of these inspirational guests, especially my sister, Crystal, all the way from Hawaii. And we are here each and every week on Tuesday, 6:15 Pacific time. Spread the love. What would it be like if people in your life had the tools to be aligned? Instead of being stressed, they would be like Crystal and see what the possibilities were. Maybe this is a time for introspection. Maybe it's a time to learn how to cook. Maybe it's a time to heal. That even if you learn one new inspirational action step that you can take from the show, it is worth it. So please spread the word, have people subscribe on the YouTube channel. And it is my great pleasure to be with you each and every week. I appreciate all your comments, feedback, suggestion, any recommended guests, and stay tuned because the Align for Success book will be out coming 11/11 oneness, and Crystal's going to be featured in that. So I'm so
Oh,
grateful. Thank you, my sister. Aloha.
aloha.
Aloha. Martha says, love you, my sister. So
Love you.
inspiring. We love you, Martha. We
Oh,
survived because of you. We
we
love you.
survived.
We survived 2020 because of Martha. Thank you, Martha.
I know, Martha. You survived. You were our light. You are our light.
Yes. 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 You are our light and we love you. Bye.
Bye.